Here we go. The first time I've seen this. I'm going to stop the video if I've got any thoughts or opinions. Greenfield systems, like the logo.
Farms. What do you think of when you think of farms? Tractors, wellies, scarecrows?
Me personally, I also think of agri-tech. I invest in small robot companies. I also think of green, green living walls and all sorts of things.
Well, it might be time to think again.
I wonder if this is kind of the back of the garden or anywhere.
Imagine if we told you there was a farming technology that could yield 10 to 20 times more produce per acre than traditional farms.
I like that. Yeah, I think this might be indoor, kind of indoor farming type thing.
Using up to 95% less water.
Yeah, I've seen
a technology
this.
that can help address some of the food security and food supply chain issues that we've seen of late, which have become exacerbated by climate change. Such technology exists, and it's called vertical farming.
Yeah, I've seen this before. I think this is interesting.
Vertical farming is the art of growing produce in a controlled environment to optimize growth. There's no need for soil, pesticides, or herbicides. The controlled environment means you're growing 24/7, 365 days a year. Growing cycles are faster, supply chains are shorter, and carbon footprint is much lower.
Vertical farming has been around for years, but most vertical farms currently in use today are placed in retrofitted shipping containers and refrigeration units that were not originally designed to control variables such as airflow, temperature, and humidity.
At Greenfield Systems, we design and manufacture bespoke vertical farms. We are currently developing a plug-and-play automated vertical farming unit called the Vertiplex.
This is really interesting because this is supplying. It's a bit like the people that mined gold, the people that got rich were the people that sold the axes. It looks like they're actually selling the farms as a kind of product in different sizes. This is my initial 1 minute view.
The Vertiplex will be modular and stackable.
Yeah, modular and stackable, which means you can start small and build out, and actually it's quite difficult to run a vertical farm. I believe. I don't think it's as easy. I think any kind of farming is difficult. This is probably easier than average farming, but I still don't think it's a walk in the park. I think it's smarter for this company to look at supplying, the other startups and other people that are interested in doing this. And I think it is I do think it's a very good thing to be doing for the world and for food supply.
In form, so that extra layers can be added to fit into the space available to our customers. With integrated software, lighting, and irrigation timers, a structurally insulated panel frame, automated fans, and dosing systems, the Vertiplex is designed to be versatile and user-friendly.
Right, so they're vertically integrated, meaning they own. I would assume they own the software, or at least they license the software, the electrics, the systems, the builds, everything. So that makes a lot of sense.
Our aim is to minimise the need for customers to have horticultural experience. This means that we can take the farms out of the countryside and into urban settings. With an estimated price point of less than £25,000, it'll also be more affordable than vertical farms housed in shipping containers.
Your investment will be...
That's interesting. It'd be interesting to see the differential between shipping containers versus this. I wonder who their market would be. I guess they'll go into that in the pitch deck, which they've given me access to. I think just my initial thoughts, just on the look and feel of it, I think it looks good. The whole concept looks good. I'm really interested in their go-to-market. I'm really interested in their target market as well.
Used to optimize our prototype Vertiplex vertical farming unit and to market our units to supermarkets, commercial kitchens, restaurants, hotels, and other retail outlets, as well as to traditional farmers.
Right, so they're going to go direct then to the restaurants and supermarkets, kind of cutting out suppliers, if you like, and almost train them up to say you can supply your own things. I imagine supermarkets probably do this already. They probably have some of their own, I would imagine, some of their own farms and whatnot. But yeah, I think restaurants would be interested in this, especially if they can just do it down the road from them, or this could be quite efficient for them.
This will allow them to sell fresh produce to customers all year round.
Yeah.
Our team includes experts in horticulture, agronomy, design and engineering. We have a collaboration agreement in place with WorldFresh, one of the world's largest providers of fresh produce.
Nice.
The global market potential is huge, and we've raised £2.4 million in funding so far.
Yeah, I think probably licensing this would be easier, and using distributors and partners for retailers, supermarkets. Trying to convince them to kind of own and run these themselves might be a harder ask than saying we've got this partner who will help you run this. I think that might be a good way to get into bigger supermarkets. That's just my opinion, obviously. That's kind of what we do at Meta, which is where I work, when we're trying to integrate and try and win an enterprise client with a complex system. The easiest way to go to market with that often is to use a broad range of partners, and we use hundreds with WhatsApp for Business. But anyway.
The worldwide vertical farming industry is currently worth $5.5 billion, but experts predict this will rise to over 12.7 by 2026. Our aim is to disrupt not only the traditional farming industry, but also the developing vertical farming sector.
By investing in greenbuild systems today, we strongly believe you'll be investing in the future of farming.
It's very interesting. Let's look at the pitch deck. Or before we do, let's have a quick look at their page just to make sure we've got everything in place. Right, so they're valued just shy of 11 million. They're looking to raise 2%. To raise 250. They're nearly there, raised almost 230. They've got 2 weeks left at the time of filming. So they're a manufacturer of these for end users, restaurants, supermarkets, hospitality, called the Vertiplex. Low price point, bespoke modular for end consumers, and bring the farm to consumers. Sorry, I really think they should consider the partnership model as well. I think that would help them scale. But anyway, let's see what they say. Got a lot of the overall stuff here. Let's look at the specifics. They're talking about the fact that maybe some vertical farms at the moment are kind of retrofitting. I know that not a friend of mine, but somebody I went to a talk on ran a vertical farm company and actually does supply. I think she does supply Tesco with lettuce, I believe. And they went into a huge warehouse. I think they supply about 3% of the UK's lettuce or something crazy. But that became a much bigger operation quite quickly. So these things can do well. I think the smaller players are using shipping containers, but it looks like they're trying to target SMBs or small to medium-sized businesses. So they probably will be selling kind of maybe some of these smaller 25k units for restaurants. I think larger supermarkets will need larger facilities, and I think partners might be one option to do that. And maybe this, those larger people in the farming space, I might be able to find out the name of the company if Greenbuild is watching this. I can maybe put them in touch or whatever. If they can build them a system that's cheaper and easier for them to use and share the revenue for supermarkets and whatnot, that might be a win-win for everybody. Anyway, this is the team. So this guy Paul was a former MD and owner of Total Energy. Wow. CEO in construction and real estate entrepreneur. Interest in sustainability. Daniel, Director of Marketing. Matthew Burke, Director of Investor Relations. And they've got some key advisors as well. Sean Malai, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Jason Hawkins Rowe. Agricultural research and vertical farming. So they've got some specialists there. Okay, let's look at their pitch deck. I'll go through this swiftly. Changing the future of agritech and advanced manufacturing. It's EIS as well. It's founded in 2017, raised over 2.4. And they've got a research unit, GBS, Eco Panel, and they've created a panel which is integral to their construction of their units. They're collaborating with WorldFresh and GE. Got this Vertiplex, 25k stackable unit. And they're looking for 250k in return for 2.4% EIS. They're going to optimize the prototype of their system. And they're going to do marketing. Supermarkets, restaurants, they need to think about that. I mean, this is what I specialize in for my work for Meta, is go to market and marketing. If they crack that, then they should grow very well. Let's have a look what else they're saying. So the demand for food is rising. 50% of it is imported at the moment. Pandemic and other factors are increasing difficult things. And there's loss of arable land. and that makes sense. This is a bespoke system that can be used basically anywhere, state of the art. The size of the market is predicted to go from 5.5 to 12.77 billion, increase of 24% over the next 3 or 4 years. So the market's growing. Existing provision falls into 2 categories: the industrial scale, fully automated commercial farm, and smaller firms. It doesn't include actually the firm that I mentioned that has a massive warehouse and that supplies a lot of lettuce, specializing in lettuce to some of the largest supermarkets in the country. So I think there are other players in the market. I wonder if they're going to talk about competitors. It's interesting though, they're going for both the supermarkets and restaurants and smaller supermarkets, I imagine. Container farms are not useful, basically. They're not as good as this solution, is what they're saying. That makes complete sense. Opportunity, develop additional markets. Okay, they're looking at healthcare plant specialists about the capability of medicinal plants and herbs as well. London, there's a lot of restaurants, a lot of cafes and bars. That makes sense. Products. Bridge between existing systems, not a one-size-fits-all. It's bespoke and it's modular. It's an off-grid. There's an optional for an off-grid, which is good. State-of-the-art, easy to clean, daisy chain capability, linking, entry-level system. It's designed to be off-grid. It's using special LED lighting. It's equipped with hydroponic systems, and it's got this structural insulated panel frame. Good. They've got a forecast. So they're expecting sales or revenue earnings to go from 3.4 to 17 million. Service contracts to go from 19 and then go down to 18. That's interesting. Go up and then down. Total sales 3.4. They're expecting to double. Then go up 50% in year 3, and then go up another whatever it is, 30% or so, 35%, 40% in year 4, and then 30%. So the big jump is from year 1 to year 2. I don't know how much revenue they're making at the moment, doesn't say, but the gross profit is 1 million. So it's about 30%, roughly 25-30% of this. Stays pretty consistent here. Again, about 30% roughly here. Again here. So the gross margins are staying roughly the same. It says here. Sorry, I didn't see that. 30%. Look at me going ahead of myself. Net. They're obviously going to be reinvesting a lot here. So in the first year, they're only making 10%. Then they're making 50% from gross to net. So they're going to be profitable very quickly, it seems. Profit after tax, 764. Retained earnings 764. So that's good. So they're expecting to be profitable very quickly, which is fantastic. Don't know how many sales, number of sales this is going. I guess you can divide it by 25,000. So they need quite a lot of sales here to get to 6 million. I'm not going to do the maths now because I haven't got a calculator in front of me and I can't do that maths, but they need a lot of sales to get that. Use of funds, marketing, there you go. It's already talking to important players in the key markets, supermarkets, etc. They'll probably need to kind of vertical down or sub-vertical down into those different target markets, because supermarkets are very different from restaurants, very different from wholesalers. Yes, they're selling the same product, but they might need different marketing campaigns. And certainly for hotels, they'll need to tweak these things quite a lot. Pharma companies, again, that's a different go-to-market strategy, marketing. They may need different sales collateral, different conversations, different assets, different journeys, etc. on the website and whatnot. They're in early dialogue with the prison service and the NHS. They could be big corporate customers. That's good. And maybe they base the revenue off this. Maybe half of it or 3/4 of it is commercial contracts with the NHS and the prison service and one of the big supermarkets, for example. New product development, lab research and development farms, freeze-dry and pharma markets, sustainable energy storage solutions that can bolt on to the farms, working capital. So that's good. LinkedIn will be quite important for them as a marketing channel. Maybe potentially exhibitions, maybe trade magazines, and they could do targeted advertising based on people that are subscribing to certain associations and magazines and things like that. Maybe some print ads as well. YouTube ads, I think, would be good to the right audiences. Facebook and Instagram to the right audiences. Certainly on the SMB side, like Facebook is massive on small to medium-sized businesses, specifically like restaurants and small chains of supermarkets. It's kind of crawling with that, and as well as on Instagram as well. That's good. That's the company I work for as well. As I may have mentioned, I work for Meta. I work for WhatsApp and Instagram and Facebook for business. So if the guys want to speak to me, I can put them in touch with the relevant people at those segments of the company. If they're watching this video, they might not be. Look, I've mentioned the team. They look good. Then there's the contacts. I think it looks cool as well, by the way, logo and products. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and give my opinion. I think it's good. I think the vertical farming industry is growing. I don't think it's the complete future of farming. I think farming will still exist. I think this will exist alongside traditional farming, just because of constraints on space. I think farms will exist out of city, so I don't think it will completely. They'll have self-driving vehicles very soon, so that will reduce costs and increase efficiencies. They'll have self-driving, probably autonomous flying vehicles as well in 5 to 10 years from now, probably, potentially. So that might reduce some of the burden for farming. Yes, I believe vertical farming has a future. I don't think it'll be 100% of farms. I think maybe could be the majority, could be 70%, could be 60%. Who knows? I think they've got a smart go-to-market and product in terms of selling directly to restaurants to own their own unit. I think that is very smart, cutting out wholesalers. Obviously, if they're looking to onboard wholesalers, there's a conflict of interest there, so they have to manage that carefully. I think to get good vegetables and good fruits from these, it reduces carbon emissions and other emissions if it's locally sourced. I think they may have some pushback because I don't know the nutritional differentials. I think there will be positive reports out there. But it'll be interesting to see like-for-like differentials in terms of the nutrition. Actually getting the sun's rays, it's probably just as good. But it'd be interesting to see that. I think like I mentioned, I think they can leverage marketing channels, and they have to be careful about how they do that because they're not raising a huge amount of money. But I think they'll do it. I think they've got a modular system which looks good. This is just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. Let's have a quick look. They're valued at 12 million. 1 second. They're valued at just under 11 million. And if we go back to how much they're forecasting they're going to make, obviously forecast. If they do it, obviously, let's see that 5 years, 17 mil, gross profit of 7 million. If they're able to achieve 7 million at 20x, and that's 140, so they'd be going up around 10, 11 times, something like that. And it really depends on your assessment of it. My assessment is I think they've got a fighting chance to do this. I don't know. They could have included a competitor slide, like who else is supplying these kinds of units, who else is looking at a modular approach, who else is looking to supply direct to restaurants, i.e. sell them a vertical farm. Maybe there's no competitors, but they need to have I think having a competitor map would help. I like the product. I think it's good, and I think they've got a good chance of success. This is just my first view. Obviously, I've only been looking at this for 20 minutes, but I think the sector is growing. I think the need is out there. It'd be interesting to see if they could provide the average saving that it would save a restaurant or a supermarket in terms of cost savings and efficiency savings, time savings. I think that would be helpful. I think the restaurants and supermarkets themselves would probably want to see that. So I don't know if they're going to watch this or not, but if they are watching, then it'd be great to see that. I think that'd be helpful. And it would help one to quantify and understand some of those forecasts. Also, what percentage are from SMB businesses versus large corporate or institutional clients like the NHS or the prison service. That'd be good to see. And it'd be good to see maybe if they've got some go-to-market or marketing strategy plans, any insights there. That would be good to see. Obviously, that's my bag and that's what I do. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you are an investor in the company or considering investing, make sure to let me know what you think. What's your assessment of this business? How do you think it's going to do in the future? Let me know if you've got any comments, queries, or questions in the comment section below. If you're part of this business, I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear what you think of my analysis. Again, it's the first time I've seen this business. If I've made any errors, let me know. If you think I've got any good insights, that'd be good to hear as well. And if you're an investor and you're looking to find out more about startup investing, I've got loads of videos on that. I do these pitch video and pitch deck analyses at the moment. If you want to give me a bit of props, then, you know, smash the like button and consider subscribing. So it gives me that motivation to make these videos. I don't get paid anything to do these videos by anybody. I do it for my interest and to help you guys, because I wish there was someone out there helping me. And I thought, why not do it myself? A lot of chief executives, COOs, CTOs have said I do good analysis, and that spurred me on to make other videos. Guys, if you like these, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe. Remember that knowledge is power, especially the right kind of knowledge, and progress is everything. I'll see you guys in the next upcoming video. Take care.